The Amazon rainforest is as diverse as it is immense. In fact, it is not one jungle, but rather a collection of different rainforests. Among that group of rainforests, the flooded jungle is one of the strangest and most extraordinary. A vast, singular territory that is submerged much of the year after the tropical rains fall. It is then that fish swim among the trees, and no terrestrial being can set foot in its habitual home. There is surely no stranger forest on the planet. Right now, thousands of square kilometers, hidden beneath the dense foliage, lie underwater. Land no longer exists. Underfoot, there is nothing solid. The Amazon River extends its reach to the very horizon. Every tree is an island inhabited by its own collection of castaways. The tree canopies join over the water to form a unique floating continent composed of millions of branches and infinite foliage. Only those who know how to climb, fly, or jump have a place here. The rest can only flee or drown. A new world has spread out over the roots of the trees. The river's inhabitants are now the jungle's new tenants. They've escaped the flow of water, and now the whole forest is theirs. Among the conquerors of the flooded jungle, the great Amazon's great predator. An intelligent and versatile animal, able to take advantage of changing opportunities offered by both jungle and river. The Amazon, or pink river dolphin. An enigmatic mammal that swims in the great river and its tributaries. The pink dolphin is not actually pink. But seen through the waters of the Amazon, stained brown by rotting trunks and leaves, its smooth grey skin takes on a rosy tone that darkens when the dolphins dive deeper. The dolphin's acute senses may allow it to pick up the disconcerting sounds that freeze the blood of the rest of the flooded jungle's inhabitants. The intermittent screeching seems to stun the inhabitants of the jungle. All movement stops. Muscles and wings, arms and legs tense up, paralyzed. Faces show terror as they look around for the origin of the blood-chilling scream. They all know it belongs to a harpy eagle. A ferocious raptor, the largest and strongest in the Western Hemisphere. The jungle is frozen. All is silence. The local inhabitants look around in fear. They try to calculate how far or near the screams are before continuing, more or less as before, only a little more scared. The harpy eagle surveys the jungle below from the top of the trees. It is looking for monkeys, parrots, sloths, or tamanduas. The great eagle is little concerned that the jungle has flooded. Quite the reverse, in fact. Its chances of finding a meal among the castaways increases as they climb to avoid the water, right into the raptor's hunting zone. No inhabitant of the canopy is safe from the harpy eagle. The bird has an impelling motive to hunt, a very large, ever-hungry chick. The male harpy eagle, much smaller than his mate, is usually responsible for bringing home food. This is a tireless hunter who provokes the jealousy of the mother on this occasion as he approaches the eaglet. Harpy eaglets stay in the nest for about 2 years, which implies a huge effort of hunting and protection from its parents, who remain vigilant and attentive at all times. The mother harpy rarely strays from the nest. She is her offspring's protector in rain or sun. The effort the harpy eagle puts into raising the next generation means no one can ever feel safe or calm in the branches of the flooded forest, not even someone as agile as a monkey. The harpy chick needs to eat every day. By the time it leaves the nest, its victims will number in the hundreds. But other long, powerful claws also move among the branches near the nest. Surely only the most brutal of assassins needs such an armory. No, in fact, it belongs to a climbing vegetarian. The pale-throated or three-toed sloth is a permanent resident of these wet forests. Faced with a terrifying harpy eagle, all a sloth can do is keep calm and trust in its camouflage. The slightest movement might reveal its whereabouts. Fortunately, in this corner of the flooded forest, the dense foliage seems to protect it from danger. Sloths spend most of their time at the very top of the forest, looking for the tenderest, juiciest leaves, which the slow but sure sloth eats at its own particular pace. The metabolism of sloths is as slow as their movements, the latter dictated by the former. Surely an animal so slow is doomed to failure or even extinction. Quite the contrary. The sloth's relaxed strategy has allowed it steadily but surely to conquer vast territories in all American jungles in large numbers. Here in the flooded forest, it has just one problem. When it needs to defecate, which it does once a week, it normally comes down from the trees onto dry land. But here, there is just water. Lots of water. Yet even this it takes in its slow stride. In any case, it's time to look for new horizons, as far away from the family of harpies as possible. Sloths are, surprisingly, all-terrain animals that can swim without problems. They might have an unusual style, but it's effective, and the sloth can easily cross the different watercourses to reach its favorite trees. But this means of travel brings into play crocodiles and caimans, so it's best not to dally too long in the water. When all seems lost, the rivalry between two competitors has saved the sloth's life. But one must never lower one's guard. Nearby, a relative ends up in the jaws of a crocodile. The Amazon region is huge, and its flooded forest represents only a small part of the whole. It is a strange, ever-changing world that extends in the basin over an area equivalent to that of Portugal. Only aquatic animals or good climbers can survive here. All the rest are excluded by elimination. When the forest floods, you either swim or climb, or you drown or die of starvation. For those who do survive the flooding, the banks of the great Amazon and its tributaries hang heavy with delicious sustenance in the form of fruit and flowers. The manguba tree offers everything anyone who can climb its branches might desire. When it blooms, the manguba sheds all its leaves, and only its large buds and swollen red fruit remain. At sunset, brown or black-capped capuchin monkeys busy themselves searching for mature buds. Manguba flowers are a precious commodity. They last for barely a day. They are large, white and fragrant, a rare jungle delicacy. The buds open at night and the flowers exist for a mere 12 hours. In this short time, the flowers must be pollinated to ensure the next generation of fruit and trees. Troops of capuchins seek the manguba trees in the last hours of daylight before the buds open in the dark. The capuchins descend on the mature, fluffy buds and feast on their sweet pollen. The only inconvenience is the clownish appearance that they are left with at the end of the meal. Pollen is a hugely nutritious food source, honeyed and full of energy. All members of the group join in the banquet. It's now or never. By morning, most of the flowers will have wilted away. For one reason or another, within a few hours, the manguba flowers will be floating in the river. After the flowers have come and gone, it's the turn of the fruit. The large red fruit advertise themselves to the animals. Of all the gigantic river's castaways, birds are the most versatile in opening them. Flocks of parrots, southern mealy Amazons, attack the fruits with their strong beaks. They look for any groove in the shell to prise them open. The troop of parrots fiercely dispute their succulent treasure. The manguba fruit is not fleshy, but consists of hundreds of feathery seeds awaiting their opportunity to be carried off on the wind. Although a large percentage of the seeds is devoured by the hordes of parrots, many of them undertake their long-awaited journey to fruit when water levels drop. The seeds that escape being ingested are transported by air or by the all-powerful, omnipresent Amazon. Fish join in the feast, picking off the seeds as soon as they land on the water. This is just the moment the Amazon kingfisher has been waiting for. A few fish pay a high price for a seed snack. But the manguba fruit is not the only delicacy on the menu of the vast, flooded forest. The capuchin monkeys have found some other treasures safely locked away in their shells. The flesh of the sapote fruit is worth all the effort and ingenuity of the capuchin monkeys. Though the bounty is difficult to transport, the monkey carries it to a favorite anvil, a nearby branch, to strike the fruit against. It is time and energy consuming, but the shell finally breaks. As the monkey goes about its arduous task, remnants of the fruit fall into the river and arouse the curiosity of its inhabitants. Once again, the unbreakable connection between jungle and legendary waterway is reinforced. The inhabitants of the Amazon River are alert to anything that falls from the jungle over their heads. Fruits, insects, and other delicious morsels are delivered by air. Fish, alligators, and turtles take advantage of whatever comes from the flooded aerial world. Fish prowl near the banks or through the flooded interior of the woodland. The flooded jungle may seem calm. The reality is very different. Seen from above, the jungle looks like a shimmering paradise, a confusion of sky and water, and trees that seem to float on a liquid mirror. The river currents playfully drag leaves and other decaying matter. A mysterious fish in innocuous costume drifts along on the current, like so many of the leaves that lend it its name. The South American leaffish. Beneath this harmless appearance hides a fearsome predator. Thanks to its perfect camouflage, the leaf fish can get very close to other fish, utterly unsuspected. Its tiny, transparent fins guide it with millimetric precision towards its prey. It attacks time and again, filling its stomach with apparent ease. Meanwhile, over its head, among the floating trees, another castaway also fares well. The South American ground lizard, the great or green ameiva. When not sunbathing, it hunts other small survivors of the Great Flood among the driftwood and in the water. It can even capture larger agile animals, such as frogs. Despite the inundation, life pulsates unabated in the flooded Amazonian forest. Millions of insects have taken refuge in the trees, setting up residence in the high foliage, the territory of the red and green macaws. For the next few months, while the jungle floor is flooded, they will compete for the same space and even food. The jungle's fruits, seeds, leaves, and nectar become precious resources for all kinds of animals. Competition for both food and space in the top branches intensifies greatly during this season. Ants, for example, have no dry land on which to settle. So the ants of this flooded jungle build their homes high up in the branches. They use mud to construct hanging anthills that can withstand the intense rains. In these gigantic buildings, tens of thousands of ants shelter from the water that floods the ground below. Species of small tropical bees also move into the neighborhood. The bees do this as the anthill offers them protection, and they actually construct part of their hive inside their neighbor's home. But this peaceful coexistence evaporates when a monkey moves their branch and the anthill begins to shake. In response to any alarm, the ants attack the bees in droves, trying to invade their hive. It seems that they are always to blame. In an instant, an advanced guard of hundreds of aggressive ants attack a small but fierce and impregnable garrison of bees. The bees close ranks, tightening their battle formation to maintain their position. But although they decapitate many of the enemy, the avalanche of soldier ants seems endless. Only the passage of time pacifies the opposing forces, who reach a new but unstable truce. The war between the ants and bees is a small sign of the tension that palpitates in the top layers of the flooded forest. While aquatic creatures take possession of the watery jungle floor, the population at the top of the trees is growing, and relations are correspondingly strained. Cicadas, grasshoppers, butterflies and beetles all inhabit the aerial garden, and after them, many species of animals fleeing the rising waters, hoping for a crunchy snack. Home in the canopy of the jungle can be as sweet as it is on the ground, at least for excellent climbers such as the coati. The South American or ring-tailed coati is a gifted climber. Its powerful claws give it excellent grip on the trunks and branches. It is an agile and strong animal, and its tail helps with balance. During the floods, it climbs the trunks and moves easily between fallen trees, looking for the rotten wood in which larvae abound. Cicadas and grasshoppers are a welcome appetizer too. In the world of castaways, competition for food is a given. But the tamandua is not a fleeing survivor of the floods looking for safety in the trees. This is a tree-dwelling anteater that has specialized in searching for termites and ants in the branches. And the top of the jungle is where its life usually happens. The flooding of the forest floor below really is of no concern. To the tamandua, the invasion of new residents fleeing the water is a nuisance. But even so, they go about their daily business. Termites are everywhere, and the tamandua break the decaying bark effortlessly and then use their long, sticky tongues to collect a good insect harvest. For a few months before the waters recede, the tamandua have no choice but to share their territory with the recent arrivals. With the jungle flooded, it's the time of the specialists. That includes some very well-known predators. A margay watches from its nest, dry and comfortable, in the heart of a tree. Like the tamandua, this species of feline also spends much of its life climbing and jumping between branches. So it leads a normal life during the time of the flood. The margay's ankles have adapted to its arboreal lifestyle, and they can rotate so the cat can descend head first. The margay is an extremely agile animal, and it hunts the small insects that live in the canopy with speed and skill. Birds and large insects, now so abundant, are often on its menu. But the forest has many eyes, and it's not such an easy matter to approach your prey. Only the most determined perseverance ensures the survival of hunters. This time, it has caught a small rodent. By air and by water, in the heights and down below, hunters lurk everywhere. In this ever-changing forest, danger comes from land or water, depending on the season, as predators gain or lose territory as the great river rises and falls. The legendary piranha, the most feared of carnivorous freshwater fish, takes advantage of the floods to temporarily conquer new territories where channels run with clearer water. Piranhas are a huge family of fish who live and hunt in groups. Their role in keeping populations of other fish at bay is key, but also they maintain the cleanliness of the river by consuming cadavers. These are the tough cops of the Amazon. keeping it free of organic remains. Such is the voracity of piranhas that anyone near them in the water is in danger. Squirrel monkeys seem to know that it's best not to investigate below the surface. The waters hide dangerous mysteries. These occasional neighbors of the piranhas also lead a communal life and are extremely predatory. Squirrel monkeys are very active. They jump, run, and prowl relentlessly among the jungle branches. They live in large groups, the most numerous gatherings of monkeys on the continent, with some troops reaching 50 individuals. They are indefatigable creatures. They examine every leaf, one side, then the other, in search of beetles, butterflies, or spiders. They also know how to enjoy the vegetable delights that the jungle offers, especially sweet, ripe fruit. But to hunt and eat, it's not essential to be quick and jumpy. Pygmy marmosets do the opposite of squirrel monkeys and take life extremely slowly. Pygmy marmosets are the smallest monkey in the New World, weighing barely 100 grams, in other words, a lot less than an apple. As well as fruit and resin, a large proportion of their diet is made up of delicious insects. And in contrast to squirrel monkeys, their strategy is one of observation and slow stealth. Pygmy marmosets gauge every movement so as not to scare their prey. In super slow-mo, each step is taken with the greatest of care, at such a speed that it's unlikely to scare off any potential victim. But when it spots a large, tasty insect, speed replaces stealth, and the insect is left with no escape. Breakfast is served. The pygmy marmoset, a great predator on a tiny scale, is too small to be on another great hunter's radar. The harpy eagles are still conscientiously bringing up baby, while at the same time reigning over the jungle and scaring all living beings in the flooded forest. They all, be they climber or castaway, flee in fear on hearing its ferocious screech. The flooding below the great raptor's nest hardly affects it, except that, for a few months every year, the eagle's aerial realm and the aquatic domain of the pink dolphins are close enough almost to make them neighboring monarchs of very different kingdoms. Above, the eagles rule with an iron claw. The dolphin spends half a year exerting its power under giant plants, among the submerged branches of sunken trees. Their bodies are perfectly adapted to such a life. Among dolphins, the body of the Amazonian dolphin is unique. Unlike their seagoing relatives, the neck of the pink dolphin is articulated, allowing it to turn its head as it swims and twists in its search for food in the tangled, tree-lined water world. An arboreal dolphin. Unique indeed. The pink Amazon dolphin leads a relatively comfortable life, since the great river houses at least 3,800 different species of fish, giving it an enjoyably varied diet. The range and volume of the river's biodiversity is as awesome as that of the jungle that rises from its waters. Home to flora and fauna as legendary as the Great River and the Great Forest themselves. 2 Amazons, 1 special universe, the largest rainforest in America, and on the whole of planet Earth.